Hey, this is Dr. Dan, Closer Card, showing all of you I get the yes with less stress. And today I'm going to be going over a topic with you that many of you struggle with every single day. That is the bane of your existence, that you just hate dealing with it, not only on the administrative side, but on the patient side. And that is insurance. I gotta tell you, insurance sucks. But if you're still taking it, we want to make sure that we still know what we're doing with patients that come in with some form of insurance coverage without botching the close, because so many times we don't know what we're doing. The insurance aspect confuses the whole process. And as you all know, we've been talking about this for years, is confused minds don't buy. And the clarity that's lost in the insurance jumble completely botches the close, and we have to stop that from happening. So how do we work with insurance? If you've been hanging out with us for any length of time, one of the things that you should already know about what we do, simplicity rules. Things need to be simple. Things need to be cut and dry, black and white, very easy to discern right from wrong, what is or is not, etc., etc. And insurance is just one of those things. So how do we do it wrong? This is typically how we do it wrong. We start an elaborate financial conversation on the ins and outs of insurance. So it might sound something like this. Hey, Mr. Corey. Your insurance covers at 26.7% co-insurance, which means that if we bill $100, the insurance will pay 70-something% and you will be responsible for the 20-something%. Unfortunately, there's also a cap on the amount of visits that they cover. And on top of that, they don't cover X, Y, and Z services, which is something that we're going to be doing. So if you do all the math, the total cost of the care per visit is $120. Insurance covers X. But then there's a deductible on top of the co-insurance, which is kind of weird. And on top of that, you have a copay. You also have a secondary, and let me show you how that works out. So I printed out this spreadsheet. It's only 16 pages, but it clearly outlines exactly how insurance works, what it covers, what it doesn't cover. After all that is said, nothing is guaranteed, but so insurance doesn't cover anything, you're responsible for the entire amount. Which works best for you? How does that work? Be honest. How many times have you gone through an elaborate explanation how insurance, because you just want to be as forthcoming and as upfront as possible, and you may understand insurance, you don't. But let's say better than your patients. The patients certainly don't know what's going on. They're confused. They got to go home and talk about it. They got to call their insurance company. Oh my God. And then they're out the door and never to be seen from again. And they leave a bad review on your Google ads saying they try to pull a fast one because you were just doing all of this crazy number gymnastics that looked kind of shady. Just want to let you know that that's what happens. So this is how we handle insurance. First of all, one of the things that we must establish is that you are on the same side of your patients. That's done a couple of different ways, but in the MasterClass world, we give them a crap ton. But for you, I'm going to give you one thing that works the best. Now, this can be said at any specific time before you handle the finances. And it goes something like this. Hey, Corey, I want to let you know that your insurance is great. It does cover. Unfortunately, no insurance covers everything. So I'm going to be going over with you exactly what insurance covers and what it doesn't cover. Trust me, my billing department are fantastic, and they find ways to make it so that we get the maximum amount of reimbursement from your insurance company, because we want to get it from them, not so much from you. Does that make sense? Yes. You said that. You can rewind it, you can write it down, you can script it out, go for it, it's yours. Then you do something else. In our case, in MasterClass, we teach you how to go through the explanation of what we're doing for care. Great. And then we come back and we handle the finances. Now, before we go on, I want to explain to you that if we pre-frame the fact that insurance doesn't cover everything, but we have options for you by what I just said, it pre-frames them in their minds, so for them to have time to accept that insurance, as great as it might be, it doesn't cover everything. You don't want to just come out of the gates and say, hey, insurance doesn't cover X, but it covers Y. Which way works best? It's just too much for them to handle, either intellectually and emotionally at that point, for them to make a decision. So we got to give them some time. We have to elongate the process, which is why we pre-frame it at some point before we actually handle it. So blah, 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 blah. We want to get it from them, now get it from you. This is what we're going to do for care. And then lastly, let's go into the wonderful world of insurance, what things cost, what things don't. The total cost of your care is $37.80. This is how much you'll be if you paid every single time that you came with no insurance. Insurance covers everything we got to do except for $12.94. This is what insurance will not cover. This is what exactly is your responsibility. There's a couple of ways you can handle that. You can take this and break it up over 3 months. If you do that, we give you a 15% courtesy, which brings it down to, don't get me on the math over here, 10-12. Divide that by 3, pay that monthly, and then you're done. Most of my other patients like to take care of it all at once. If you do that, one-time payment of $947. and which way works best for you. That's it. Simple. 3 numbers. Again, insurance covers everything we got to do except for, and then give them their responsibility. Now, some of you are thinking, oh no, I got this one person back in 1989. Her name was Karen, and she wanted to know everything about what it covered, it didn't cover. I know we all have those. For those people, if they want a breakdown, you have one. Then you can go into the breakdown if you so choose. But don't default there, okay? Default to the simple, but have the detailed breakdown for the people who actually want it, right? You need the detailed breakdown for your internals of the finances in your office. And if you don't know how to do that, we'll teach you that as well. But you have that. But presentation-wise, it needs to be simple. It needs to be clear. It has to be concise. It cannot be jumbled with a million numbers, especially when you're dealing with insurance. Some of you complicate it even on a straight cash case. I don't know how you guys do it, but you find ways to complicate it. This is exactly what we teach you at MasterClass, okay? But you don't have to go to the whole course to get this. If you want to get better at your financial conversions, this is what it takes, all right? So take that, put it to work. Let me know how it goes in the comments below, all right? We'll talk to you later.